I'm not sure about that.
I have no idea about legalities. That's not really what we care about here.
Oh, what I'm saying is we're looking at it as a structure that's there.
Right.
If it's legally paying taxes, it's legally there. If it's not paying taxes to us, it shouldn't be there.
Well, it just might be that the town of Jackson made a mistake and is not charging them taxes, which wouldn't mean it's not legally there. So it's who's responsible?
We don't really want to get into that area of discussion. I think the more important thing is to understand whether or not we have the ability to make this split and consider this to be an appropriate lot. And taking a look at it from my perspective, I'll just weigh in here a little bit and we can discuss. But what I see here is that right now, you have legal access to it. It's part of this big old lot. And sure, there's plenty of ways to get at it, and there's no issue with that. But you create a new lot, now all of a sudden, regardless of whether there's a place there or not, and it's been grandfathered forever. The requirement when you create a lot now is that it has to have a frontage. And you said that is the critical point. And then our choice here, apparently, is that we can either say that, no, we feel that it would require a variance, we do not do variances, or Betsy, you're saying that there's a possibility of suggesting a waiver.
Yes, we are allowed to grant waivers. I'm concerned about the fact that I'm sure this is not the only property in Jackson to which there's questionable access because there are more than 2 homes on what we consider to be a driveway. I think one of the things that the town needs to maybe grapple with is what is a good solution to this kind of thing. I don't feel it's fair to penalize somebody who is making a subdivision at a point where 2 accesses are available, and that one of those that would give access to this new lot already provides access to more than 2 houses by a long shot. How could we say, no, you can't be one more house there? I don't understand how we can say no to that.
And the flip side of that is that we've never had any planning requirements, and people were putting up tents and houses and A-frames anywhere they want, with digging a hole through the woods and put it up. And we now have regulations. We do now have a planning board. We do now have zoning regulations. We do have frontage requirements. And if you establish a lot and say, okay, we're going to do this and we're going to apply 1940 rules, we have a safety obligation in the town that needs to be met. We have a support requirement that needs to be met. And you can't do that by applying 1940 rules.
No, but I wonder if we wouldn't be smart to ask people with the fire department to assess to what extent it is accessible by them, what would be essential to make it workable for them, because there are plenty of people on beyond this house that need fire protection as well. What could be done? And then I also think it might be smart to speak with the League of Municipalities, what's it called? Municipal Association. To find out what it is that they would recommend on an instance like this.
If we didn't subdivide, just kept it through an agreement within your family, and you applied to rehab the A-frame into whatever structure you want. Take that site or move it, or marry it onto the garage or the back of the garage of whatever you really want. Would we have an issue if they didn't subdivide?
No, I don't think
See,
so.
we would go ahead and say, oh, okay, there, and you do have your, access over here, and if you don't subdivide it, we don't have much to,
You could have a family agreement, so to speak, that you wouldn't have to subdivide, but you could maybe do what you want with Dick's diagram. The other question where did this border line, this orange line, is there any reason that you put it there?
Yes. Let's see, well, it's where where the land drops down. My parents wanted to, I have 4 other siblings. I moved here 13, 14 years ago and worked very hard on this house, and we put a lot into this house. So I think that there was talk about, other siblings,
Yeah.
and maybe, when my parents pass away, that maybe we can have something for another sibling, or that was kind of where the issue came.
I mean, if that line went like that, wouldn't you have maybe a chance to get access to switchback? You see what I'm talking about? You got the same.
There's,
This, I know that this is where my parents would like to hold on to. This was a spot that my grandfather planned to build on, which is why the line.
individual.
But this is going to be yours.
I
This is
think I flip-flop those, the intended ownerships. I think that was my fault. I believe I misspoke when I said that Cynthia's parents were going to stay here.
We will stay here.
That's, that
Because
was
we've worked.
my.
I got you.
And then Dick Bennett just mentioned, what about considering a PUD where there would be separate sort of house lots permitted on one big parcel?
That's certainly another option that we did discuss. This was preferred.
The most pragmatic.
Yes, but
And like, other side.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out ways.
but if that's I think that if that is part of the discussion as to finding a solution.
It's still
I mean,
a type of subdivision where you still need access, so I'm not sure how much it changes anything.
Well, what about the other houses on there? When you say there's 8 other houses, are they all defunct too because they only have a driveway?
But they are grandfathered. They
Well,
are.
the A-frame is grandfathered too.
Not when you take that line and you split it, because now we're creating a new property in town.
And similarly, if we try to do a PUD, again, that's a type of subdivision, and again, we have that same problem. So I'm not sure it cures much by changing that.
As soon as you change what you're doing, you're no longer grandfathered. I'm not saying the access is not, I'm not saying the access is not grandfathered, this is a new lot.
No, I appreciate what you're saying. That I think there just needs to be clarification as to if these lots this lot is subdivided, that grandfathered access to that house and that access does not disappear by
I don't-
that
I
action.
don't disagree with that.
Okay, I just wanted to
I don't
clarify this so
disagree.
we're on the
I'm
same.
not saying that.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to be sure.
So would your parents want to keep this, but not do any building on it now? That would come at a later date when they pass.
We would like to.
After they pass, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry?
We would like.
Well, I'm just saying, maybe that is you can subdivide it now, but you have that problem in the future.
Yeah, we would like, that was kind of part of what we discussed with them, is to make them a little something,
Yeah.
that they could come up and be with family and have the opportunity to be up here as well
Okay.
before that happens.
Yeah.
And then once they're gone, then another sibling has an opportunity to possibly.
But I mean, you could do that without dividing the property now and push that problem to the future. And at that time, in order to access that property, you may have to build a road.
So, but,
I hear what you're saying.
but that does just puts the problem down. It's a temporary solution, but it's,
I think we're trying to figure out solving it now, where I know that they would like to kind of figure out some of those big decisions now, rather than leaving it to us to figure out.
Okay, so what research can we do? I think that we have to do something
I think so.
in order to give you viable alternatives. That we need to do some thinking and reading and have more, call, I don't know, government center.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the town's fault that you access through a road that doesn't exist, quote unquote. It's just a driveway, but at the same time, as I feel it, it shouldn't be your burden to bring the whole road up to town specs. So what is reasonable, and I don't know that.
so I know that,
I don't know I know that maybe you guys might speak to that. I know that the town, or the landholders all help to maintain the road at this point, and I know that they've been upkept, the road has been upkept. I talked to Don Chase about that.
Yeah.
So
So there is some cooperation
yes, as far as I understand, there's cooperation and
community.
yes, the Stone Trend community, in Stone Trend community.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned sending Jay up there, the fire department up there, to take a look at that. I think that sounds like a good idea. I'd like to go up there and take a look at it. I would give you permission to walk your property.
I think based on what I'm hearing though, is that we're not going to make a decision on this evening, one way or the other. We obviously can't do a variance. I don't think we're prepared to even look at any kind of waiver based on the amount of data we have currently. So I think we need to do a continuance here. We need to get some more facts, do a little homework, and then have continuance. Can we just continue to the next meeting?
Yes, we don't need to renotice.
We don't need to renotice, so
Notices are good.
Just a thought. I mean, let's suppose we did a waiver. You're still going to have that problem in the future. I mean, we waived it for just this time, and then you want to subdivide that for other siblings. You're going to
Pretty
have
much we have to deal with
what's being presented.
this.
Right. But I'm just
When
mentioning to
you
them.
go for something else, then we'll deal with
Yeah, when
So we have to concentrate on,
say,
But a waiver is not going to solve your future problem.
no, if there were, say this is approved via a waiver, then any further development potential or anything down there, that's a whole different ballgame.
I think
And
that
that's
would
not.
be stated in any waiver.
I know that.
In the future, if any. So anyway, that'd be one, and I'm not gonna go overboard on the waiver, but I'm not gonna discount it either, that, it would require some wording and more research.
and we probably need to have our legal counsel,
Yeah.
the,
We have to get our assurances, but,
I don't think we're planning on doing anything much in there, just,
Right.
I don't know, but that's another thing to wonder about, what your in-law,
yes,
Accessory.
In-law
and I think that there would be,
structure.
we love the property, I don't think that we would look to build a lot of houses or anything like that. I think there was just the one structure we talked about building here, and I don't know, eventually my father wishes that another sibling would be there at some point, but maybe that can be in-law and
Okay, well,
not that. I mean, not more than one.
that's all wording that we can come up with, too. And that will, it may limit what you can do in the future. Well, it could allow you to do what you would like to do now. So we'll have to think about that, and we'll do the research to see what we can offer and what the impacts are for this road, which is now, that you bring it up, is something we have to deal with anyway, obviously. It's really poorly defined within the town, so we'll go to work.
Well, I
So
appreciate,
we'll try to determine how far Sanitarian Road exists
Yeah, we'll have to do
and to
something.
what extent it's acceptable right now for fire engines to be able to get out of access.
And what could we ask for?
And everyone on that road, I assume, is going to want to be sure that there's adequate access for fire engines. So if it requires another 4 foot of width or something, other people on the road might say, hey,
Yeah.
we need.
Well,
It might be
I
useful.
can talk to Jay now and say, well, what would you do just with the situation that's there?
Right. And then we'll talk to the municipal association and get some guidance from them on it.
Would it help for us to provide you with more detailed traveled way widths through there?
Anything you know.
Yeah, and it's sure. Yeah, no, and
Because we're sitting here going, it's a driveway, and it's like, well, I've never been up the darn thing. I don't know if the driveway is 10 feet wide or 30 feet wide.
it's
I'm
not
not
very, somewhere between the two. But so how? Yeah. So
Yeah,
how?
I've been there.
Yeah, but your car or mine?
Subaru's on there.
The Subaru's okay.
How shall I get you that information prior to the next meeting? Yes.
Can you transmit it to me, and
Yes.
that would be great?
Email to you?
Well, it should come into the office,
Okay.
and you can get it from the office, and I can get it from the office.
If I email it to Julie.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, good.
And then it can be dispersed amongst those that email. Well, I don't email very poorly. When I read it, I'm a good reader.
That's
Do we have any other comments from public, please? Or can you please let?
Yeah, my name is Colin Darcy. Carol and I bought the Frost property, moved to Jackson back in December. So I think, our feeling would be that we would be generally supportive. The road is lightly travelled, it's in good shape, but we would be concerned if it was going to be subsequently subdivided and there was going to be a lot of traffic. So.
Well, to go beyond what this proposal is, I think the road would have to be upgraded. And where that expense would come, I don't know, that would be the arm wrestling tournament of the year that year, but for now, I think there is something workable, and I don't see that the impact of this is beyond what's there. I mean, I don't think you're asking for more than what is in the neighborhood.
But we need to get there. I mean, bottom line, we need to get there. We need to have the assurances that what's there is workable and meets the requirements because our staff is shooting the new And
every time, yeah, right, if we do something, say, oh, yeah, we like these guys, we want them down. But that sets a precedent, so we have to be really careful what we agree to and try to do it as well as we can.
please,
My name is Lindsay Hoyt. I'm married to Cynthia. And I'm just bringing up that you're going to have, I know you want to stick by the rules. That's your job, is to stick by the regulations. But the problem with that is if there's not enough frontage for 35 acres or whatever lot's out there, then you're forcing people into actually, that may just want to cut it in half, into actually developing it and increasing the density much more than 2 lots, just because of the rules. So there's something inherently wrong with your rules in some situations, I have a feeling.
which is why you obtain variances, and those are not offered by us.
Right.
And also, the rules are obviously a floating thing. I mean, they change.
They do?
So, over the years, they definitely do. And this may be an area that we start to concentrate on, because just like, I don't want to force people to develop heavier density for some, arbitrary rule.
Right.
So I agree with you. But we still have to adhere to what's on the books now. We don't change them.
And it's important to recognize the things that we put on the books, we put on for a specific reason, for safety, for people, fire department protection and so on. It's not that we necessarily are against greater density. Sometimes that would be a good thing in Jackson. We have a whole lot of land that is preserved in national forest, and sometimes housing is a challenge here. So we're not necessarily against density, but we want it to be reasonably well planned and certainly safe for the people who are there. At the same time, we don't want to be unreasonable about preventing something that certainly makes sense in many ways. So it's a conundrum. No easy answer.
But we will work at it.
Yeah, it's a process.
That's the process, so, we just need to see how we can get there from here.
I respect it. Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Any other?
There are 8 of these. Is it okay if I take on these plans that are here in the folder? It's supposed to be 8
I
copies.
relinquish them unto you folks. So
It very probably will be redone to some extent anyway.
Correct.
Especially if you get some road specs. You're going to try to get some measurements of roads and so on,
Yes.
and some of that would then be included on it.
I would prefer to do that, yes.
I would
So,
like to take one of these too.
We have money.
I got
I
one.
don't want them.
Okay. You want one?
I got one.
Okay.
so Cynthia, if we drive up there and walk around.
Anyone else, we can sell these.
Now, for celebrities.
So,
We're gonna work on it.
we have a motion to continue.
I'd make that motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm sorry.
Okay, all in favor? Yes.
Yes,
Okay, this public hearing is closed. We will continue it to our next meeting.